Hello students. Today we'll continue with the chapter that is chapter number 5, primary activities. In our previous video yesterday we have also discussed some important points regarding the chapter. Now we are continuing a chapter with the next important point, with the next type of agriculture, that is plantation agriculture. So we are continuing this new topic, that is plantation agriculture. The main areas of plantation agriculture are tropical and subtropical areas of Asia, Africa, South America, and Central America. It is commercially agriculture in which crops like tea, coffee, cocoa, rubber, cotton, oil palm, sugarcane, banana, pineapples, etc. These are grown for the solid markets. So, now following are the chief characteristics or chief features of this agriculture. Students, the main plantation agriculture are tropical and subtropical areas of Asia, Africa, South America and Central America. The main crops are कौन सी main crops हैं? That are tea, coffee, rubber, cotton, sugarcane, banana, pineapple, etc. As we all know that these are the crops which are grown for the good income, for the good source of income. Now, the main features of this agriculture are: it was introduced in the tropical land. The basic feature of this plantation is that tropical land is required, like European and North American uh, areas. Another thing that we required for this plantation is that the plantation are of very large size, something running into households of hectares. So we required for this plantation a very large area, for a long hectares we need. So next feature that we required for this plantation is it requires large capital investment. We need large capital investment for this plantation. The technical support is also required for this plantation. इस plantation के लिए good technology की भी ज़रूरत है. उसके लिए हमें large capital investment की भी ज़रूरत पड़ती है, because scientific method are used for this cultivation. Now next feature is cheap unskilled labor is required. So we have to require like tea, coffee, sugarcane, banana plantation. As we all know that we required sufficient quantity of cheap labor. So it is very much required that cheap unskilled labor is supplied by local people, while technical and skill assistance come from temperate lands. Another important thing that we required for this plantation, that is cheap transportation. So we required cheap unskilled labor also, and we required cheap transportation to link these agriculture products with the factories and markets to export a product. So that is why we need cheap transportation also. Now, what is the contribution of European and American for the development of plantation agriculture can be judged by the following facts. What are these facts? These facts are that the French set up cocoa and coffee plantation in West Africa. So, first of all, the French people set up the plantation of cocoa and coffee in West Africa. Then the Britishers established tea gardening in India, Sri Lanka. Then they start rubber plantation in Malaysia and sugarcane and banana plantation in West Indies. Now the next is Spanish and American set up coconut and sugarcane plantation in Philippines, and the Dutch established sugarcane plantation in Indonesia. So this is the facts that we have discussed, that from which who contributes for the setup of this plantations. Now the next important farming that we see, that is extensive commercial grain cultivation. That is extensive commercial grain cultivation. Commercial grain cultivation is practiced in the interior parts of semi-arid lands of the mid altitudes. Following of the chief character features of this agricultures are that wheat is a principal crop. Through other crop like corn, barley, oats, rye are also grown. The size of the farm is very large and often run into hundreds of hectares. So we need for this commercial intensive farming, extensive farming, that we need a large size of farms. The next thing that we need is highly mechanized agriculture, which also operates from plowing to harvesting are done by machines. So all the activities related to commercial grain cultivation we need from plowing to harvesting, that is heavy mechanized agriculture techniques. Now another thing that we need for extensive commercial grain cultivation is, since the farmers are mechanized and the population is sparse, yield per acre is low but yield per person is high. The production is low but yield per person is high. The areas of extensive commercial grain farming include, so which are the areas that include for this farming is Eurasian steppes, then Canadian and American prairies, the pampas of Argentina, and the yields of South America, the downs of Australia, and the Canberra plains of New Zealand. So these are the plains. These are the areas of the world from where the extensive commercial grain cultivation is taken place. Now, the another important farming is mixed farming. So as we see the name, this is the type of agriculture in which cultivation of crops and rearing of animal done at the same time. So this is the mixed farming, because the mixed activities are done, that agriculture and animal rearing is done at the same time. So that is why we called it mixed farming. Now the major crops grown in this type of agriculture is wheat, barley, oats, ragi, maize, and some root crops also. And the fooder crops comprises an important component of mixed farming. Now the animals like cattle, sheep, pigs, poultry are the main sources of income along the crops, soils, fertility and maintained by crop rotation and intercropping. Mixed farming requires high capital investment. This is also a highly capital required investment, and important terms like farm machinery and building, extensive use for chemicals, fertilizers, green manures, and also on the skill and skilled farmers also required for this type of farming. This type of agriculture is practiced in highly developed parts of the world. So this type of agriculture is developed or practiced in the highly developed world, like Northwest Europe, East North America, parts of Eurasia, temperate latitudes of southern continents. So this is the mixed farming. So in next video we'll continue with some important types of farming. Thank you so much.